Yeah. What's your name?
Mo.
What is it?
Mo.
How do you, Mo?
Emily, yeah.
Heather.
Are you new? Heather?
No, we've been here quite a while, or not quite a while, not even a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This beginning, like, this year.
Yeah, I came here last year.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I was here for like 2 months and then I went back home
Oh.
for like 8 months and I came back.
We're back home.
We won.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now you're back in action or what?
Yeah, and then I came back and then I went to Spain for 3 weeks and then now I'm back again. Yeah.
It's fun. What's your, oh yeah, well, okay. So you're just, you're a realtor?
Yeah.
Are you like back in action? You got some stuff going or you kind of trying to get like back into it?
Try.
Yeah. It's tough being gone.
Yeah. How about you?
You kind of check out, you know?
How about you do a real estate too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you done anything yet?
Yeah, I have. I used to work for a wholesale company. You know what that is?
Wholesale company?
Yeah.
What?
So like I wholesale houses.
Yeah.
Investors. Yeah. On properties, and stuff like that.
Buy it from the auction.
Kind of, sort of. No, not really. You just get it at like a discount, get it under contract and discount, you assign it over to somebody. But anyway, yeah, so I've done like quite a few like off-market wholesale deals.
Oh, that's,
So I've only done like one on-market deal,
oh,
but
wow.
I've done like 8.
Oh, that's nice. How
But they
did you
don't
get
count,
that
'cause
one?
you don't represent anybody.
How did you get that client?
Which
The
one?
that you sold?
Oh, it was, he was one of my investors.
Oh, okay.
It was a property that he flipped.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Looking forward to doing some more, right?
yeah. What do you think you like specialize in? What do you focus on?
Yeah, just like as far as like what type of house I was
Or I
there.
guess just in real estate in general.
Just figuring it out right now, like.
Yeah, trying to figure out which route.
Yeah, which also I owned my business for like 15 years. I was in the car business.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had a dealership
Okay.
for like 15 years. But that was like really like hard, like working a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
So like 7 days, like, you know, I started in 15 car when I was 23 years old. And then when I with COVID hit, and I just got tired of it. I didn't want to do that anymore. And I sold the business. And then I took break and I didn't do anything for like a year or two.
Yeah,
So
that's
then, you know,
nice.
I got my real estate license and then I still went back home, wanted to just rest a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's,
now I'm back and I'm just learning and then I'm just getting to the track.
Okay. I mean, it's nice that you had,
Yeah,
that you were in a position to be able
Yeah.
to like take the time.
and right now I do also the property investment and management, so I do houses, I do have houses that I do Airbnb and
Oh, okay.
short-term rental.
Okay, I work with a lot of people who do that.
Yeah, that's what
You wanna buy one in Palm Springs?
yeah, I wanted always buy like something in Palm Springs or.
How you doing?
I'm
all right,
Big
yeah.
Bear.
Great.
Yes.
Tony Abbott, nice to meet you.
One of my investors.
Yeah.
So you're a presenter today, right?
I'm gonna be your
Have
one.
their
Yeah, so
Airbnb
don't you have-
there, like
just want.
Beautiful,
One is
amazing.
So we're
But
gonna,
I think they
few
want to
people are
sell
gonna be
it.
trickling in or
They
whatever. whenever
just got it going.
So much is it? Normally we have like.
They want way too much.
Yeah, thank you.
They want like,
It's just like, you know, and you got this like nice licks.
but they,
It was.
it's beautiful property, like they put a lot of money into it.
You're the office man?
Yes.
They completely renovated it like top to bottom.
I just work with,
I'll show it to you.
Sean, I don't know, he's supposed to be showing up, I asked him. to.
Rom?
Where
Well,
is
yeah,
Airbnb
okay,
then?
yeah, Sean, right.
So, well, I never know which one it is.
Yeah, I know, right, you know, every time like the next one, then it's like weird email, and they're right. I'm not sure how many-
What was the other one?
No, not the right.
on them.
Oh, okay.
I think we're.
No, yes. As we're building and high rise.
Townhouses?
No, it's a high rise.
Right.
Oh, it's a high rise?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
nice.
he did, project.
I mean, I don't go over there very often. My old office used to be close to there.
You live around here?
Yeah,
Really, I don't.
yeah, I live
I used to be,
like 5 minutes away.
yeah, I used to be in wheelchair, Beverly Glen, Sterling
Oh,
Tower.
okay.
Yeah, I was about 7, 8 years. I had my career.
Where do you live now?
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do a market
Oh,
update.
okay.
and then
Oh,
put you right
okay.
before
So you have Airbnb there
Yeah.
too? Oh, okay, cool.
So
Oh, gee, I worked with us at the end.
I had it moved. Okay, just so for time purposes and like after the meeting's over, just hang out, like talk to
Yes,
everybody.
okay, get the questions, and, I have some really got multiple specials.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning, Frank.
How are you guys doing today? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I received a text like 2 weeks ago.
We're gonna talk about that.
Well, okay.
Oh, I just
Yeah, I
got one
didn't
a
know
couple
what-
days ago.
Did you?
too. Yeah, I already knew it wasn't you though. I got
What if I
it.
needed gift cards, like really badly?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, I got
Nobody
one
helped me out.
Friday. I got one Friday at 8 PM. Hello, are you available? Let me know if you get my text. Spring Bernardo, Team.
Oh, then, yeah.
KW Realty, like not even capitalized.
I'd be in so much trouble if I was really sending all these texts to people, like.
So
my
8
wife would be
PM
like,
on a
"Yo,
Friday
what-
night.
What? Why are you sending people texts on Friday night at like 11 o'clock? I wasn't me.
You're looking sharp today, by the
You
way.
know, I'm gonna try to, present every now and then. Keep this thing going.
You can have-
There we go, everybody's rolling in. I like it.
That's great.
I know. We didn't do it because,
Oh, I saw it in the corner of my eye.
we don't line ourselves up, we just do it on tape. Let's go for it.
Pretty and unpackaged.
Yep, and all like symmetrical. Like we bring our stuff in, we're like, here,
Pop it
throw it
open.
all everywhere.
Open it yourself.
My camera's not following. Come on, any more followers? Stop it. It's broke. All right, so.
Not good again.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, well,
Good again.
we do have cameras in there. It don't work. All right, we're gonna get the party started. Glenn, get your bagel and let's go. You don't need to be eating a bagel, Glenn. You're not gonna keep that girlish figure if you eat a bagel.
I couldn't even look at
Laura, you might have to refresh it. I changed the slide and I don't know if it's gonna, you might have to refresh the slides because I changed the slide last second. Well, what happened there?
Tripped and fell, or what are you saying?
Oh, this thing,
Oh.
there we go.
Probably.
If you refresh it on yours, it should be good. Joe,
Going there, one back.
can everybody see me okay? How many people we have on Zoom? 15? All right, are we good to go? Is Joey on there? Rich is on, oh my God, Rich, I am so excited you were on here.
Okay,
How long can you be on the meeting?
I can be here for the
Okay, can I
meeting.
say?
I have an
say-
11 o'clock, so if it goes over 11, then I can.
Okay, can I save you until my market update part? I'm gonna skip the broker part because I wanna talk
Sure.
about the lawsuit and all that stuff.
Sure.
Awesome, awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna get started because Rich is here, which actually makes my day because of everything I wanna talk about, because he is way smarter than I am. And most people are, but he knows way more about this, and I think him and I are gonna be on the same page as far as what we need to do moving forward. Joe, get that bagel and get in here. But we are gonna get this party started. It is November 1st. Who's excited about November 1st? It's like officially the holidays, right? Like Halloween is like kind of like the pre-holiday. And it didn't really feel like Halloween to me. It was weird, right? Because it was like 70 degrees in the afternoon. And then it wasn't that cold. But now like we're officially in the holidays. And I know we're officially in the holidays because I came down this morning. I don't know when she did it, but like when I came down, we had a bunch of Halloween stuff out for the holidays. But when I came down, all the Halloween stuff was gathered onto one table and Tracy was getting ready to put out all the Thanksgiving stuff. So we have seasonal things in our house and it just magically happens. I don't know how it happens. Just things show up and things happen. So I'm excited about November 1st because we are getting into the holidays. And let me turn my thing on here. All right, I'm gonna need you, Laura, to pop the slide because it's not working for me. All right, let's start off with tell me something good. So what's positive, what's happened in the last week, business or personal, that is exciting, positive? Did anybody do anything for Halloween?
Me.
What did you do for Halloween?
I went to, not see the Kardashians, but I went to the house next door to the Kardashians. We always have a party over there for Halloween. The Kardashians did not show up this year. They closed their house down and walked around.
There you go.
However, besides that, Anna drank on until 3 o'clock this morning, so I'm a bit bloodshot eyes.
There you go. Did you dress up?
I.
Well, see, come on.
It doesn't. I don't have to. I'm a comedian on the bike.
Oh, there we go. Well, that's exciting. That's fun.
Spooky all the time.
Did anybody else dress up or go to a party? Anybody? What'd you do?
Not for a party, but trick or treat with my kids.
Trick or treat with your kids? So did you dress up with your kids or no?
Yes.
You did. What'd you dress up as?
Same thing that I came last time.
Okay. What'd your kids dress up as?
Also dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. A little dinosaur family hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was you in the dinosaur suit?
I like it. What about you?
Yesterday, I turned 35 years old.
Oh!
It was a Halloween.
That's pretty cool. Do you do anything special for that day?
Honestly, I'm always with my family because everybody goes trick or treating on my birthday. So
Yeah.
I'm used to it. You know, everybody just goes to themselves.
So this would be what I would do. Don't ever do what I would do. I'm just telling you what I would do. I would show up to every house. I'd be like, trick or treat, it's my birthday. That would be my trick or treat. And that way I would get extra candy.
Right.
For sure. Now, maybe not everybody, because there's always that guy, right? But like, I'm sure, like, oh, it's your birthday, let's give you extra candy. And then there'd be the people who be like, it's not your birthday. I'd be like, bam, I'd have my license ready to go.
You have a license.
Do you trick or treat when you have a license?
They're like,
I'm just trying to get more candy here. I mean, you know, you go with your kids, be like, hey, trick or treat, my birthday. Anyway, anybody else? Dress up? Joe, what'd you do? You have kids, what'd you do for Halloween?
We went trick or treating, few different places, we got a lot of candy, I didn't dress up. But one thing that I did this year,
You didn't dress up as me to go with your kids?
you know what, I really wanted to do it, but I didn't want all the fans to attack me, so I avoided it.
Valid point. All right, point.
That was a good comeback, huh?
It was.
No, one thing that I did, a couple years ago, I bought a whole bunch of costumes because it was on sale. And this year I donated them to the needy or people that really needed them, so I gave away about 20 costumes for kids. So
Someone's getting in there.
that's something to do.
Costumes are on sale right now. It's time to re-up.
Yes, exactly. That's really cool. All right.
I have my son was Sonic the Hedgehog,
Nice.
Yeah.
and my son he's extra like me. He was really Sonic.
It was silent for about 4 hours yesterday. Oh, I got all the pictures he's like. Like, so it was good time. He's 3, so.
Yes,
I saw Danny Elfman at the Hollywood Bowl.
who?
Danny
The
Elfman.
whole, never.
Yeah, I saw the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I know somebody else is there too.
He played some songs from his band, Boingo Boingo, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, I got caught up in that traffic.
It was crazy.
Yeah, because I live off highway, so I got off on highway. It took me 45 minutes to go 90 miles last night. It was great.
That's awesome. So this is what I did on Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's me and Tracy right there. So what we do is we dress up in these elaborate, crazy costumes and we walk around our neighborhood because we farm the neighborhood. And so, just to be clear, this is 100% Tracy's idea, and I'm like, sure, of course I'm in. Of course I'm in. And so last year we did the balloon dog. So we dressed up as balloon dogs. I did this last second. So I didn't have the picture of us as balloon dogs. We walked around as balloon dogs, like all over the neighborhood. All we did is walk around, and then like when people saw us, like we did a dance or something, like you couldn't see my face, so it was okay. And people were like, hey, look at the penguins. And then the cutest thing happened is we're walking around and there was another little penguin kid walking, and the little kid was like, penguins, and like ran toward us, and he's like, my people. And it was like the coolest thing. But if you farm an area, or if you live in a neighborhood and you want people to know you're a realtor, then doing something like this.
How did they know it was you?
Well, so we've been doing this for a while, and if you know us, then you know there ain't nobody else in the neighborhood that's doing this. And like we'd be walking down the street, being like, Frank Tracy, like they would just know. But if you market to the neighborhood and you talk about it, like they will end up, you'll end up letting people know. The year we did the balloon dog, we actually had like a little dog collar with our name on it. And then like we were walking around, people were like, it's gotta be Frank and Tracy. Like it's gotta be. People like stopping, taking photos with us and everything. It was really cool.
Like
So,
the tag? Got a tag?
we had a little dog tag, yeah, it said Frank and Tracy, yeah. So it was really funny, but the thing was like super crazy hot. We were sweating, and I did everything that I could do to make Tracy laugh while she was in there, because like I wanted her to pee a little bit. And I just tried to like make as much fun as I could. I came up with the craziest dances. So that's just a little thing about what we did. And
Other dances or the videos or? I mean,
There
videos
are.
or dances?
there is one of me doing a dance that is inappropriate for me to show, but it's funny. I'll show
I'll
it
be
to
at
you.
your office later.
There we go. So, all right, let's get this moving.
About the dog,
Huh?
we're gonna start with the dog. Or the penguin.
Oh, yeah, no, there was dances with both.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I got this quote, a business is the reflection of the owner. So do you ever drive around and you see a restaurant that goes out of business and you're like, man, they had really good food, I wonder what happened. Well, the business owner happened. And a lot of times people run their business because it's who they are. And a lot of people run a business and they don't get the support or the leverage that they need. There's you guys have heard of Shopify, right? So Shopify is a very interesting story because the CEO is not the actual owner. The guy that created Shopify actually hired somebody above him because he knew he wasn't that guy. And there's a lot of businesses out there that are amazing, that are awesome, that are just the best. But the owner is the wrong person, and the owner doesn't have what it takes to make that business successful, i.e. the restaurant. You can have somebody that's an amazing chef, but they just don't know how to, handle the money. They don't know how to handle the customers. They don't know how to handle certain things. So you have to realize that when you're looking at your business, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And how do you leverage yourself to fix those things? Right? Am I right?
Absolutely.
So this is the one question I have for you. I saw this company and I was like, I would never do this. I'm like, well, you know what? I wonder if anybody else would. And so there's a company, I think it's like $500 a month, that they will call your database for you. They'll call your database for you. They will send out the emails for you. They'll send out the text messages for you. And the call is something like, hey, this is John. I was calling for Joe. I'm part of his real estate team. And we were just calling to see how your Halloween was and wanted to touch base, and you wanted to have a conversation, we'll tell you about the market, blah, 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 whatever it is. But they will actually call Savannah.
Yeah.
I knew it. Okay, come on in, have a seat. But they'll actually call your database for you, like an hour a day, every day, consistently. Send out emails. Would anybody do that? Be interested in that? Because calling's not for everybody, right? Anybody be interested in that?
Nobody in coaching does it.
So if you're not willing to pay somebody $500 a month, like, then you should be doing it. Because sometimes calling is not your strength. I totally get that. Sometimes you're not the A player, you're the B player, so the B player has to hire the A player. So I want you guys to think about that, okay? All right, moving on. Next, we have happy birthday to Mitch Bravo, Richard Agata, and Samantha Maldonado. So happy birthday to those guys. Can you guys see them? Make sure you make them feel special. Is Mitch on? Laura? No? Is Mitch on?
No, but they'll be, they're on.
That's Rich, not Mitch.
Oh.
Rich is nicer than Mitch. Productivity coaching update. You have anything for us?
Of course I do.
All
And
right.
y'all remember the clap. Lock in on 2 claps. Ooh, let's do it again. Let's see. Lock in on 2 claps. Hey, there we
Jump
go.
that
There
over
we
here.
go. I'm trying to avoid the camera.
But you look so good.
I don't have a button to tie, no nothing today. So couple of things. We're talking about strength and weakness, right? Strength and weakness. If you're in productivity coaching, you're gonna hear me all the time. Mindset, skill set, business structure. Mindset, skill set, business structure. If you're not hitting your goals, something in there or a lot of things in there got to improve, right? So I focus on business structure a lot, right? Mindset, there's a couple things we can do, and then skill set like scripts practice, which will be back next week because of Halloween yesterday. Scripts practice, what time is that?
7:30 or 9:30?
9:30, 9:15, one of those.
7:39.
7:30, 9:30, so we'll adjust it. That's easier to remember, right? That's a skill set, right? Your ability to overcome objections, your ability to ask the right questions, to lead a conversation. Those are skill set items. When you sit down with me, I'm gonna talk about business structure, like where's your database? What do you do with your leads? What does your follow-up look like? What time do you do it? All of those things, right? So we're talking about weaknesses. And one of the reasons that people get into real estate is to be their own boss, right? Which means no accountability. And that's a big problem for realtors, right? So if your weakness is I don't have accountability, what can you do to solve that?
Partner.
Huh?
Find a partner that will be accountable.
Right, a partner or another P word.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So that's one of the things that people hate it. Realtors hate it. And I'm seeing it now as I'm coaching people. And I'm like, you said you were gonna do X, Y, and Z this week. It's the next week, let's check in, right? Did you do X, Y, or Z? They're like, oh, look at that. I said I was gonna do it, and now I kind of have to do it. I heard a laugh over there because I had a question for somebody on that side of the room later. But that's one of the things, right? If you want to strengthen one of your weaknesses, you strengthen you leverage your strengths, right? And you find a way to fix your weaknesses so that can help you, right? So we got a new agent here.
Sorry, no.
So- Oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
You shake. All right. So with
You gotta put
that
me on blast
said,
like that, man.
with that said, I'm available. Let's sit down. Let's talk when you have time. All right. I'm at it here on 2 claps.
All right. So I mean, listen,
I know.
Aaron's here
I regret it.
and he's essentially free, right? He's free, ish. So it's like, you're not gonna have to write him a check to work with him, but when you close the deal, you will have to pay him, which will be part of your education. So you're kind of paying for education, which if you take into comparison what education typically costs, it's a deep discount. And I tell everybody, you need 3 coaches in your life. Does anybody remember what those 3 coaches are? You need a business coach for your business. Do you remember all 3?
Yeah, business, health, and,
Dating.
No, it's not dating, Aaron. No, therapy. Like, I know people like, oh my God, I don't need therapy. Like, we all need therapy. Like, your parents screwed you up. Like, don't even try to lie.
or if you're married,
Huh?
or if you're married.
It's the same, that same type of therapy. Like, you have to have somebody that's outside of what you're doing to talk to. Because you can't fix a problem you created. And most of the things that have happened in your life are created by you because you have to take responsibility. You are where you're at because of the decisions you made, right? So you have to start figuring out how to make different decisions. That's why you need a therapist. Physical is number one, like number one beyond and above everything else. And just to lead by example, like Tracy and I pay $1,000 a month for a real estate coach regardless of our production. Like we just have to write the check. Well, it just comes out of my account. I'm like, oh, where the hell? Oh. So we just do that. And then I have a fitness coach that is very, very harsh and abrasive that I pay about $550 a month. And if I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing, like he looks at my numbers, he calls me and he yells at me because I respond to that. So you need that. Use Aaron, abuse Aaron, do what you need to do, but he is here to get you to the level you need to be. All right, let's move on. We gotta hustle through all this. So we're gonna skip this one because we're gonna come back to Rich here in just a minute after we get through a few things. Westwood Escrow Goalie is here if you need any escrow help. She is amazing. We're gonna be reaching out to all of you that have escrows, that have listings to talk about the escrows. Advanced property inspections. If you need property inspections, this is the go-to person. Make sure you contact them. Mary Kay, that's the QR code. We can get, Laura can get you the information if you need it. We have Clearmark Title Update, Jerry Ferris. He is busy today, but if you need title, he is here to help you. Risk Management, Thursday, November 2nd, 2 p.m. Guys, this is super boring. Not even gonna lie, super boring. It's not super exciting, but it is super needed because guess what? You don't know you need this stuff until you are contacted by an attorney. You do not want to be contacted by an attorney. This is going to tell you the hot topics, the current claim trends, and the risk management practices to prevent claims. It's very easy to fall into a trap, and this is the class that's going to help you. The last time we did it, which we have to do on certain intervals, I was told it was very informative by the agent that took it. Culture Committee meeting with Vanessa, Tuesday, November 7th, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. If you have ideas for things to do in the office, events, parties, get-togethers, anything, this is what you need to come to. The last outing was very sparse, meaning nobody showed up. And this office is a cultivation of what you guys put into it. We can only be as good as you guys are. And if you guys are just like, okay with mediocre, then not showing up to everything is gonna make sure things are mediocre, because guess what? I'm gonna do all the things that I wanna do. I can guarantee you, Nilu does not wanna do the things that I wanna do all the time. Maybe sometimes, right? Not all the time. So show up to the Culture Committee meeting. It's a really good time. We have another business planning workshop, November 7th, 1 to 2:30. And then Ignite, as always. Joe and Aaron, Elise class on November 9th.
Sorry.
Huh?
November 7th,
Yes, that's Zoom.
that's Zoom?
Yes, Zoom. Yeah. Lease class with Joe and Aaron. Joe and Aaron.
We're getting, this number is great, we're getting rave reviews.
Yes.
Like that. We have a fan base now.
Yeah, it's just one thing to mention. I found out that, that a lot of people that have been doing real estate for a while, when it comes to leads, they're not that informed, or because they don't do that many leases. So I would highly recommend, if you're an experienced agent and you feel like you need to brush up on your lease contract, and if you haven't done one for a long time, I highly recommend that you show up to the class.
So what are they called? Cool. Leases? 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 Leases. You want to know how to do leases? You come to this class. All right, so we're getting at the time of the year where we have to redo the ALC. The ALC is the Asian Leadership Council. This is basically what runs the office. I know you guys all thought I ran the office, and I did such an amazing job that everything fires on all the pistons and everything is awesome, but that is not the way it's supposed to work. I am here to guide. I'm here to support. I'm here to educate. I'm here to train. I'm here to help the office grow. The ALC is comprised of committees that actually help the office run at a higher level. So I would invite, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm going to invite everybody in the company to come to this if you want to be a part of the ALC. And this is gonna be the team meeting on the 15th. It's gonna turn into almost like a hyperbolic ALC meeting. And I'm going to talk about what an ALC is and what you can do to be a part of it. You do not have to have high production criteria. Typically, to be on the ALC, you have to be in the 20% market share of the office. I am changing that because I think based on the quality of people that we have here, there's people that do not hit that 20% that could be a great asset to this office. So I want to welcome everybody to come to this. This is, in my opinion, probably the most important team meeting that we'll have because we're going to structure the office based on the people that we have here. I'll explain what an ALC is, I'll explain what the committees are, I'll explain what your commitment is, and I'll explain how it benefits you. Yes,
What time is it?
team meeting.
What time?
What time is the team meeting? Come on now. Yeah,
You're
there
here
you
now.
go. It's all right. Sorry, somebody else had that question too, don't worry. So November 15th, I want everybody in the company here. There's 200 people in the company. If all 200 people show up, I would be the happiest person in the world. Yes, sir.
There's the education committee, the culture committee.
They're all getting redone and we're gonna start fresh. Right now, we only have 2 active committees. I would love to have 4 active committees.
Is
What were the
there,
other two? I'm trying to,
So we have education and culture.
and then
There's actually like 7 committees we can do, but I wanna be lean and mean and I wanna do the committees that are actually gonna perform.
Okay.
So if we can have 4 strong committees, I think this office would be like on fire. Yes,
is there a reason why the meetings don't start at 9?
the meetings start at whatever time the chairperson. Oh, for this office?
Yes,
For the team meeting.
all of them. Why do we start at 10? 10 is almost like halfway done with.
10 was here when I got here. That's something we can talk about.
You know.
if you're on the committee, you can help change. it.
Well, I will tell you
Not
this,
to be-
I will tell you this, at 9 o'clock, I probably wouldn't be here on some days because I have a kid that I have to take to school. And it's in,
That is good.
traffic. So we just have Glenn.
Also, you should be, you ideally, ideally, you guys are prospecting.
Yeah,
8 in the morning until about like 9:30. And then as soon as you finish prospecting, you don't just get up and leave. You have to update your notes, you have to update your leads, put new people into command. You're scheduling your next calls, like there's stuff you do when you're done prospecting that you have to do in that period.
yeah. Glenn, what'd you have?
won't be attending the ALC, I'm going to help you out.
You're fired.
Cancel
So. All right, if you're not gonna be here, or you can't be here, you have to have a really good reason and come talk to me. If you wanna be here, if you wanna be a part of it, you can't be here, come talk to me. We'll have a conversation. All right. Right after that, after I have this really aggressive conversation with you, we're gonna do our Thanksgiving potluck on how we're all gonna be thankful for everything that we do. So come here, we're gonna have a Thanksgiving potluck. It's gonna be fun. So if you're not coming for the ALC, come for the food. We're trying to up our food game as we have a sponsor today. You can see how nicely everything's set out back there with all the food. So Thanksgiving potluck as we ramp up. All right, anybody get an email or a text message from me seeing if you guys were available?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did actually.
Okay, so we are all real estate professionals. If somebody texts you, just don't assume that it's that person. That is, there's massive fraud going on. And for some reason, I am a huge target. People are impersonating me. So when somebody, this isn't a hack. Let's get clear on what a hack is. A hack is if the email or text message came from my email or my phone number. That's a hack. This is just somebody impersonating me because it's not my phone number, it's not my email. If somebody that you know acts out of character, double check everything. Like, trust but verify. You guys have ever heard of that? Just because, and I say this because this didn't happen this time. One of the 25 times that this has happened in the past, we actually had an agent respond. And the person's like, listen, can you go to Target and can you get me some gift cards? The person, I'm not gonna out this person, went to Target. And the guy's like, show me a photo of the cards, like took a photo of the cards, sent it to him. And then for, I don't know, some reason, that person decided to contact Cassidy and be like, I'm already at Target. I'm already taking pictures of gift cards. I have them in my hand. I'm not sure this is Frank.
Wow.
Right?
Sometimes.
So, no judgment, But it does happen, and that's why people do this. Because the amount of the gift cards they were asking for were like $5,000. So this is why they do that. They do that because they don't need, they're like fishing. They're trying to get something. So it's very easy to be scammed. This happens a lot with older people, and it's very easy money. So just be cognizant of that. And when this happens, you know, because when this started happening, I had like 25 messages and it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm working, by the way, I'm sitting on my lap. Ding, 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 ding. You're hacked, not hacked. Impersonating me, ignore it, block it. So, everybody clear? Good, all right. Closings. We have Vanessa Montiel on Cardin, placed in Northridge, $722,000. That is a townhome. Soraya on Fruitland in Studio City, $970,000. That as well as a condo. Albert and Joe on Tampa Avenue, 4,000 lease. Where'd you guys get it from?
Oh, the listing, it's all right.
It's what?
It's an old client.
Old
We were
client.
not representing the tenant. Actually, we rented to a, almost like a sober living.
Got it. Vanessa Montiel and Garrick, $4,500 lease. David Israeli on Clinton at $2,500. Man, those $2,500, you don't see those very often. Yadira on Greenlawn in Culver City, 1.15. And then our own Tracy Toffey on Periwinkle in Valencia for $890,000. That was an online lead. And they're selling another property with us. All right, so I'm gonna, just hold on, I'm gonna do yours after my presentation, just because my broker has to get out of here.
Okay.
And I wanna talk to him really quick. So we're gonna do a market update. Who heard?
Animation, baby.
What happened? Can you go check, there's something that is not, that is hidden, there's a slide that's hidden. Can you unhide the slide for me? It's right after the market update. So did anybody see the news about the lawsuit?
Yeah,
Yeah? Who knows what that's about?
I just learned yesterday after reading
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
We all do, thanks for pointing.
Well, the Wall Street Journal sent out a tweet, and the tweet has only been viewed 1,200 times. The amount of information on what this is not being, nobody's talking about it. And this court case started about a couple of months ago. It's been brewing for a very long time. And it was a class action lawsuit. And all the major players in real estate were basically named in this, and a couple settled before it got to court. Anywhere, which is essentially Realogy, which is essentially like Coldwell Banker. So if you look up Realogy, it's a blanket corporation for like all of these hotels and all these real estate companies. Like ERA, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, blah, blah, blah. That's part of Anywhere. I don't know why they changed their name to Anywhere. It makes no sense to me, but I regress. Remax settled. And KW did not settle. KW was probably one of the people that were like, no, we're going to the ground on this and we're going to fight this. Berkshire Hathaway was with us, and I think there was a couple other ones.
NAR.
NAR is a big one. Now, NAR, and I want Rich to speak to all of this. I know that most of you, and I make jokes about the board of real estate being a mafia and like we're paying them to protect us from them, right? I make jokes like that. And a lot of people, like I saw a post yesterday on Facebook that talked about, okay, this is great, so hopefully we can get out of having to pay NAR. Let me tell you why that's probably the dumbest thing you can do. We are in a business to where we can make more money than any profession on the planet. There is no ceiling to how much money we can make. And we are part of an organization that with local, state, national, and MLS fees on an annual basis come out to $1,200 a year roughly. Like, we should not be complaining about that. That should not be a problem. Because if they don't deliver any direct value to you, because there's people that use their stuff, there's people that don't, you know, they're supportive in some ways, some people don't think they are. Take all of that off the table. they have lobbied for us and gone to the ground for us when it comes to legislation at the national level in ways that most people don't even understand and have protected our industry. And this is what I'm telling, cause I had people calling me all morning, and this was my statement to the people that were like, oh, you know, NAR might go down because of the membership and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're gonna miss them when they're gone. Am I right on that statement, Rich?
Yes.
So
Simply,
can
yes.
can you explain to everybody here what this lawsuit is about and where we're at? Because everybody, all of a sudden, because these news outlets are starting to report it, everybody's freaking out. And it's my opinion, there is no reason to freak out. And you guys need to keep doing business as usual, except for something you need to start changing right now. And I think Rich knows what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna let him take it from here so he can explain what it's about.
So this case was a bunch of buyers in Missouri did a class action suit against NAR, Anywhere, Remax, KW, and whatever the blanket company is for Berkshire Hathaway. I can't remember them, right? It's Home something. And saying that because that realtors aren't transparent in that they have fixed the market as far as commissions, which we all know that commissions are negotiable and they stay that way. They are negotiable, and that you're forcing the seller to pay the commission of the buyer's agent. And in doing so, the buyers are paying more for the property than what they should be, because they're forced to pay this. Now, there's separate lawsuits by sellers, class action lawsuits by sellers saying, why am I paying a commission to somebody I have no relationship to? So, and then here in the background, for the past few years, I've mentioned the DOJ has gotten involved with it, suing NAR for antitrust, saying exactly the same thing. We're not transparent. We're not transparent to the consumers, and the consumers are being harmed by this. When in reality, most consumers are helped by the way we're doing business, and they'll see that going forward, but they don't really see it now. So when Frank said that nearly all of the brokerages were in this lawsuit, no, they weren't, because as soon as this decision came down, the same lawyers filed the same lawsuit, which included Compass and a whole bunch of other new ones. So they said, oh, we won on this, and now we're going to go after this. So is this a time to panic? Absolutely not. This is not a time to panic. The sky is not falling. I've said this, but I will say, and as I have been saying, our industry is going to change. It has to. Because part of when Remax settled, and by the way, the settlement is on the table. It's not known whether it's going to be accepted or not. But when Remax settled for $54 million, they included that they are not going to force their agents to join NAR or a state or local association. And they're not going to force sellers, which we don't force sellers, to offer compensation to the other side, to the buyers. So that's on the table there. And that's what we need to be prepared for. Let's address leaving NAR. Yes, an agent currently in the system, we require that the agents join NAR, CAR, and the local whatever local association you have. because the broker has to be a part of that. Now, should any of my agents not pay their association dues, we have a signed agreement with these associations saying, if my agents don't pay it, I've got to pay it. And if I got to pay it, that agent still doesn't get any of the benefits associated with that membership. So that's why the beginning of the year or throughout the year, there may be emails going out. You need to pay your local fees, or you need to move to a referral if you're not going to pay your local fees. That's why those emails go out, because the brokerage is responsible for those fees. Okay. So part of this is saying, well, we're not going to require agents to join. What does that do? Number one, being a part of NAR, you take a vow to the code of ethics. And we all know a lot of the code of ethics. You know, I served on grievance for years and years and years. I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know some of them. And it's basically doing business right. So if you're not abiding by the code of ethics, or don't have to abide by the code of ethics, it's going to be a wild, wild west out there. So I'll just say that. That's the one thing. The other thing is you should be looking in the MLS starting immediately to see what the cooperating broker compensation is, the CBC is in the MLS. The MLS is a contract between the brokerages for cooperating broker compensation. That's the definition of our MLS, an offer of compensation for the state of California. That's the part of the definition, is offering compensation. So you have to see what those brokerages are offering, because they can be offering zero. So if they're offering zero, you have to get paid somehow. So I think what Frank is alluding to, you need to start doing a buyer broker agreement, which I just taught the class on. That needs to be a part of your business. If you're representing a buyer, you need to be doing that. And you need, as I said in the class, you need to be selling yourself. Just like you sell yourself to list a property, you need to sell yourself to represent the buyer, because you are representing that buyer in this big transaction. And that's really important. I know that some agents do dual agency. I've done it in the past. I didn't like it because I think it's a fine line you have to walk. But the fear that buyers are just going to run to the listing agent, I don't think is warranted. Because if you sell yourself as a buyer's agent, that you're going to work for them, you have a duty to them, not a duty to you, but also to the seller in the dual agency situation. You've got to sell yourself and say, I need to be paid for my services. Do it now, start doing it now, before the state steps in and makes it mandatory. A couple of years ago at CAR, they were talking about this, and they decided not at that time to make it mandatory, but they may soon do that. So that's kind of what this has all been about. Of course, that this decision is going to be appealed for years. Yes. We're never going to see the end of this. Years and years and years, this will be appealed. So we're never going to see really the decision from this. Maybe years to come, there will be a settlement, that all parties settle. But it's not over. It's not the end. And it's definitely not a time to panic. But it's a time to change the way you're doing business. I think I've talked about that.
Absolutely. So if somebody out there asks you, if a client asks you, somebody asks you about this, It's in the courts, nothing's been solidified, and nothing's changed. That's because you don't know anything, that's your answer, yes.
I know this is not being settled, and this is, you already said that it's gonna be taken here.
Yes.
But are we, or are you foreseeing any future, because there are markets, I'm not talking about United States, but out of the United States.
Yeah.
There are markets that, seller pays on and buyers pay on, and that's
Yep.
customers.
There's
Are we
there's
foreseeing-
places back east, there's places back east to where the buyer agent commission is 0. And that's,
Right.
there's already things happening back east that hasn't gotten to us yet, but they, like New York, real estate's different, they operate differently. We're gonna operate the way we operate because of our state laws and so on and so forth, but at the end of the day, nothing has been decided. A court action did happen, and it's gonna be appealed. So anybody asks you, just tell them it's a court process that's happening right now and nothing's been finalized. And nothing's changed in our.
And Frank, I will say that yesterday I sent to all the offices the
Yep.
statement from Tracy Casper, I think her name is, NAR president. And at the end of her statement, there is a great Q&A, kind of thing about what happens next. I'll read it, really read that because it's a great resource. So for just this thing.
And listen, I know we email you a lot, but do not come to me and tell me you want me to take you off of our email list. There is pertinent information and valuable information that we have to give you that you need, that it comes down to what's happening in the office, legalities, so on and so forth. So unsubscribe from Amazon or whatever else you want to, but do not unsubscribe from us. You're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're putting yourself into a very precarious situation by doing that. This is your industry and we're supporting you, and you're gonna get emails from us, you're just gonna have to live with it.
Actually, Frank,
Yes.
my question was to follow it. Are we even foreseeing a future of business that really buyer pays on commission and seller?
Probably.
Are we?
I speculate that that's probably gonna end up happening in some way, shape, or form. What it looks like, we have no clue, but I anticipate that will end up happening, yes.
Don't we have language in the listing contract, or can we add additional language in the listing contract that would clarify, maybe bold, that, what commission are not set in stone?
So, the reason that we're talking.
It is in the listing contract. It says commissions are negotiable. It's right at the top.
So why is that?
Hold on, I followed the court thing from the very, very, very beginning when people didn't even know what it was, and I've read the testimony. I've read what was said by the sellers, what was said by the attorneys, what was said by Gary Kelly. I've read all of that stuff, and I was so infuriated because a lot of what these people are claiming that the lawsuits are against us are because they did not read the contract. They actually did not read the contract, because all the things that they're arguing for are in the contract.
Exactly.
It's in the contract. First of all, you don't have to use that agent. You don't have to pay that commission. You don't have to. Like, all these things you don't have to do. And I got so frustrated because we're being punished because other people can't read their contract, and the agents are not explaining the contract properly. So in reality, it's really our fault, because there are agents, and I know they're out there because I've been doing this for 20 years. The agents don't explain things properly and or at all sometimes to clients. And it can be conceived as manipulation. Maybe some cases it is, but we don't explain the contract properly and the client doesn't read it. I've had one person in 20 years sat me down for an hour and a half in his kitchen while he literally read every line of the contract. It's the only time that's ever happened. So I say, here, I'm gonna give you a copy. You can read it tonight if you want to, blah, blah, blah. Nobody reads it. And now they decided to get a class action lawsuit. And just so you know how I feel this is gonna go, the guy suing us is the same guy that sued Philip Morris. This guy's no joke. And I didn't think the lawyers on our side were very good, to be honest with you. I've watched enough episodes of Suits to know what a good lawyer does. So, but I do not think that they did us justice versus what Ketchum, the attorney for the other side, did. So all that being said, if you want to represent yourself properly as a professional real estate agent, would you ever go to a listing appointment and not give a presentation and market that house for that person? Would you ever do that? Ever? No. So why would you put somebody in your car or follow somebody to a house and show them upteen properties if you don't have a contract with that person? Everybody does that. We actually, Tracy and I, and more so Tracy, we don't really work with buyers that are not like 100% legitimate on board with us. That's where I'm going with this, is that you should, if you have a buyer.
I had one and it didn't go anywhere.
So this is how a buyer representation should work. Somebody's gonna call you, hey, can I see the house? It's 1234 Reseda Boulevard. Great, when's a good time for us to get together? Not, okay, hold on, let me get in my car and show you the house right now. We're so desperate sometimes that we decide to jump in the car and show a buyer a property when we don't know if they're qualified and we don't know if they're actually working with another agent or not, because this is where the term buyers or liars come from. Because they lie to you because they're working with another agent, and that's not on them, that's on us, because we didn't represent ourselves properly. Will you ever be able to go into an attorney's office and get them to represent you without signing something and handing them a retainer? You wouldn't.
And we go to the lawyer office and present the signature.
Why would you go to a lawyer office? We already have a buyer representation agreement.
Yeah.
Your office is this office, you have them meet you here, and then you do a presentation of what your services are for that person to get them into a contract. Because the services for a buyer agent is almost equal, if not more, than what a listing agent will do for their client. And if you show them that, you're not only going to create a relationship for life, you're going to elevate yourself to a level of professionalism that most agents don't do. Yes.
What makes you think that if they sign a listing contract, and again, they said they didn't read it, what makes you think that you're gonna give a buyer that contract, the buyer broker contract, and they would not come back and tell you that they did not read it?
Because you're gonna give a presentation on what that contract is in the presentation and explain it to them. Because when I do a listing presentation, or when Tracy does a listing presentation, we literally go through the contract. This is what this means, this is what this means, this is what this means, we go through it paragraph by paragraph, explaining it to them. So there's no confusion.
When you do a DocuSign, how you see that, if you have to
So
DocuSign the listing contract, how you do
I
that?
never do a DocuSign without explaining the contract. If, what happens a lot, and I've seen Tracy do this, is that we'll go to them, we'll have the contract, we'll explain every part of the contract to them, and we leave the contract with them if they don't sign it, and then we'll send them another DocuSign later. So the
And
DocuSign.
Frank,
Yes.
I used to when I had a buyer and I was going over a purchase contract and they were doing a DocuSign, I'd be on the phone with them, going line by line over, okay, now you can initial. You have any questions? No, now you can initial. You know, that's what you need to do. You need to prove that because they're going to say, I didn't read it. My agent didn't go over it with me. That's your job. That's part of your job, is to go over these contracts with your clients, not to just send it in DocuSign and say, okay, just go through it, go through it. No, that's your job. That's part of your job. Or else you don't deserve the commission. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you're worried they're not gonna sign it, if you're worried they're not gonna listen, if you're worried they're not gonna meet with you, that means you have not established a relationship with that person strong enough for them to want to work with you. So trying to figure it out and trying to show them property to get them to trust you, that's not the way to do it. I had an agent in here showing property and writing offers for somebody that wasn't even qualified to buy the house. Like, you can't do that. You have to give a presentation and walk people through the steps on what it takes. Most people don't understand. I had somebody tell me, oh, no, I can buy the property, I'm an attorney. That was their qualification, that they were an attorney, that's why they were gonna buy a house. Yes, Nilu?
If you do have the signature of the buyer, that this buyer is exclusive buyer to me and not to any other agent,
Mhm.
am I entitled for my commission if they go behind me and buy it from someone else
Yes,
in the middle of the contract?
If
And
it's
the-
exclusive, yes.
and depending on the situation, because there's lots of situations will depend on what that looks like. Sometimes there's partial commission, sometimes there's more commission, like, it just depends. It depends, like, if you have a buyer exclusive agreement and somebody else showed the property,
Yeah.
you're not getting 100% of that commission because you didn't open the door. But it all goes to an arbitrator and it all goes to something and they look at the facts and then they make a decision. So you are more protected than you can be without having it.
Going to, do I go by myself to a lawyer or KW?
You don't need a lawyer.
Back me up.
You don't need a lawyer. We have attorneys in the office. We have a broker in the office. You don't need an attorney. That's, you pay a $99 fee every time you close a deal.
Yes.
And that's part of the legal representation that you guys get.
But,
Well, that's a different conversation for outside of the meeting. Okay, so every legal situation is different. And having a buyer broker agreement is something that I am going to ask you if you ever have a problem with the buyer, if you had one. And we have classes on it, so there's no excuse. I am going to deliver a presentation on how you can deliver a buyer presentation to someone to show you the value, because that is what's gonna end up happening. So if you guys have questions, we talk about it after, yes.
So, Remax settled, so in doing so, does that make the industry different?
Not yet.
But their office, what is the difference between their office and us, now that they settled?
Nothing's been, so they settled.
Nothing yet. Nothing
Yeah,
yet.
They settled.
They may be changing, you know, we won't know because everybody pays dues at the beginning of the year and you're paid through the whole year. So January will be a true test as to, we already know that Redfin has left, is leaving, NAR, they're out. They've announced that in June. We knew that going in. So Redfin is no longer a part of NAR. And you know, they will be an MLS only brokerage. Now, as far as Remax and you know, Anywhere or any of that, we'll have to see in January as to whether their agents are going to join.
So when somebody settles, that doesn't mean anything's gonna change, that just means they're not part of the class action. And
Right.
so they will be part of any change that happens industry-wide. So that's why we're saying that none of this changes anything as far as business goes right now. And with the appeal process, it's gonna take years and it's gonna get drug out. And with the appeal process, the $5.36 billion or whatever number that is, that's going to end up being less. That's just what was up front. And this is just gonna be a long drawn out process. So nothing's gonna change in the industry. But what we're telling you is that the way you handle your business should change as far as how you represent yourself with buyers, and that's to protect yourself. Yes, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay, going back on her scenario, can you ask Keller Williams to sue the buyer for the commission afterwards?
So we have a whole thing. So I would say read the buyer broker agreement and take the buyer broker class. That will help you. And then Rich and I and everybody within our company are available if you have questions. So that's all worked out with all that. So thank you, Rich. I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna try to field the questions, and then if I have any questions I can't answer, I'm gonna reach out to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I want to get down to our speaker, the person who brought the food today, because it's a really important it's a really important part of the industry, because with the way real estate works, homes are sold twice. And the first time they're sold is through the photographs that are taken and put online. And I have actually sold houses because the last agent couldn't sell it because they had shitty photos. And I went in and I changed the photos and literally changed nothing else and sold the property. Because the photo that was in the MLS was a dirty yard with a truck, and the photo was upside down in the MLS. I swear to God, it was in Victorville, and I don't usually drive that far to sell a house, but when I saw it, I'm like, I could totally sell this thing.
Well, at least you're being honest though.
I mean, and so I changed the photos, and the photos are so important. So we have a speaker here, Tony Abbott from Digital Homes. So Tony, come on up. Stand about right here, and then we'll you'll be able to be on camera.
Okay, great.
I'll give you guys a little quick introduction to what it is we do. Hey, again, my name is Tony Abbott. I am the Chief Sales Officer with Digital Homes Photography. If you haven't guessed it, we are bi-coastal. We started off 10 years ago in New York. We pretty much own the whole tri-state area up there. We're also in Florida. We're also in Texas and here in LA and expanding rapidly. Just a little bit about me. I'm a digital marketing expert or consultant now. Been doing it since 2013. Had my own business and recently have partnered with Digital Homes to help them expand their territory across the US. We are very unique in the sense of we're a small team of very talented photographers. So we got our photographers out through an extensive interview process, and then my partner, CEO Frank Bosia, if I can pronounce that correctly, is does all the training. So we have a specific eye that we like to have, we have a supporting view that we like to do. We like to create what we call immersive content. So our photographs are taken with 5 different takes for one shot, sandwiched together for this immersive experience. When you look at our photographs, you're kind of looking into the photograph. It's not just a flat, regular photograph. Our images pop. If you want to go into some of the next slide. So again, some of our services, again, we do, we have interior, exterior photography of your listings. So you do 2D floor plans, aerial photography, professional video inside, as well as we do the drone and that sort of thing. So if you want to do a walkthrough video with you walking through the house and talking about the house, we can do that as well. We do virtual staging, as you saw in some of my video samples. And also we do your Matterport walkthroughs if you want to have those immersive experiences online. If you do bi-coastal stuff or you're doing stuff from for buyers in this area, they want to kind of walk through the house without actually physically being here, Matterport walkthrough is the way to go. Virtual tours, again, that's what we do as well. Our professional photography, just some examples, how to go through these. Just to show you some of the examples, the immersiveness of our quality of photography. It's just some samples. And get an idea of the kind of work we do. I was referred to you guys, actually, I did some work with Sean, also known as, he did 5 jobs with us right off the bat. I'm extremely happy with our work. He was the one that, invited me in. Thank you all for having me. Go to the next one with our floor plans. Again, we're trying to do really immersive stuff. We can do different styles too. If you wanted to have your furniture, or you want to have a certain look or image or feel or anything like that, we could definitely accommodate you on that as well. We're next day turnaround. Next day, I'll be out shooting something at 5. I'll be doing your twilight shots at 5 in the evening. You'll have them the next morning. A virtual staging is absolutely incredible. My CG artists are amazing. I just did a unit in Redondo Beach, my stomping grounds, for an agent where the entire condo is filled with antique furniture. I mean, from the furniture to the dressers, all the antique filled We removed everything and put modern stuff in it. It looked absolutely amazing. You couldn't even tell. Our aerial photography has really been. Go to the next one. Our aerial photography has really been a lot of different sorts of angles. Really to create a lot of this requests I've been getting from is like the neighborhood. Actually for Sean, we did a commercial property where we did a really cool stuff, and it really kind of opened our eyes to the opportunity of doing it not only for commercial, but also for residential. We were able to show the property lines. You can see, we can put on there the angles of the streets, where the schools are at, where you're, the more popular things in the neighborhood that sells the neighborhood, not only just the house. Here's some examples. Yes, again, all the stuff that I have on the slideshow here. This is the one I did with Sean, actually. It's just a first one, so you can see the area of parking, the scripting. And then during the video that we did for him as well, we had little verbiage written on the bottom where it was another. Yeah. So we can actually see the streets and everything like that, see where the location is, see the neighborhood of what's going on. The video actually had this was the one we did in Redondo Beach. This was a beautiful property that we did. One of our Twilight shots. Twilight is really popular, guys, here in LA, especially. We've got a lot of really great Twilight photography here in LA. Next one. Again, our professional videos, aerial videos, we do. That one won't play. I already did the video for you, so I didn't want to do too many videos for you guys. These are Matterport walkthroughs. Are you guys familiar with Matterport walkthroughs? I think most people are, right? Yeah. If you have any questions, you can talk to me after. Could you explain some hard examples?
Could you explain it briefly, like what it is?
So it's really when you're kind of virtually walking through a house. So you'll be able to have little arrows, and you can walk upstairs. So it'll walk you up the stairs. It'll walk you into the bedrooms, and it'll virtually take you on through one. Again, I have my computer here to see some examples of our Matterport walkthroughs. I can certainly show you some.
Is that the one that with the camera?
If that a
Like
special
you're
camera.
invited to the house and you're just going in and.
Right. But yeah, it's really, that's how we film it.
Do you
But
charge extra for that?
yeah, so yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, we do, I'll show you our packages. We're very transparent with our pricing.
You create a website or it's another website, how some people put it on YouTube or, how do you, when you do this for a client? Because I've seen photographers that here's a picture, good luck, and we have, companies that they say, okay, you know what, this is the thing, we're creating a link for you.
Right.
So you can post the link and if it's a virtual tour or whatever, but there is a link. So how?
So Digital Homes is a content provider. We provide the imagery, video, the content. We don't do marketing. We don't do websites. We don't do your social media marketing. It is an area that we're going to be getting into next year. We are expanding our product offerings. At the moment, we're content providers. So everything we provide you is mainly for your MLS. We do your videos. If you can do them, I did when I went down to the beach, he wanted specifically for the iPhone. So he wanted to do iPhone specific advertising. So we made him an iPhone specific video, for his listing. So I mean, there's something specific that you want, and so you can share, but we don't actually do those services as of this moment. It's something that we're hoping to add into next year. Can go to the next one. Again, we are the Keller Williams, vendor. We've been doing a lot of work with Keller Williams across the U.S. But we work with just about all the big boys there. You can see these are our pricings for our regular just photos. The photos would be interior, exterior, floor plans would be like the 2D, 3D floor plans, and then we have a package deal here, okay, for doing them both. I only normally just do it for one day, but I know like half your day is gone, so I'm not going to do it to you. I'll give you to the third, end of the week. Any of these packages, any of them, $250. $250. Flat rate, $250. It can be up to 7,000 square feet. Interior, exterior photos, and floor plans. $250. I'll be here after the meeting. I can take a payment for you here today. You call me, email me. I was just grabbing my card or one of my flyers that are out on the table with the food. And you call me by the end of the week and jump me on the spot, $250. And it's good until the end of 2024. Okay, so it's good for a whole year.
So what's the difference between you have photos, you have floor plan, and then what's the third column?
Okay, so the middle column is a combination of the two. So this is our floor plans. For just floor plan, it's 150, just wanted the floor plan of these pricings for this square footage. If you just wanted photos, it would just be this one. If you want the plan, the package, this is photos and floor plan.
Any aerial, so you do the drone, you do photos.
No, it's just photos, just floor plan. If you go to the next one, okay, for 250. Hold on.
250 is the best deal I've ever heard.
That's what I'm telling you guys are right. I mean, if you have a listing coming up, or you think you might have a listing coming up, or you just want to get like a basic package, buy the 250. You're saving yourself a ton of money, and it's good for a year. Go to the next one. Then you can add on other services. We like to do it a la carte. I don't want to give you guys what that's for their website. A lot of my competitors will put packages in and will force you to buy if you want all this stuff. You have to get this, or you have to get that. You may not want that. So we like to do all in carte. I want to service you guys. I'll give you what you need, not anything more. I'm not trying to, give you all the bells and whistles and stuff like that you don't need or want. I want to give you a great package. You know you need photos, you know you need floor plans, so I'm giving you a 250 opportunity till the end of this week, till the 3rd. Okay, call me directly, email me. I'll give you the deal.
Do you have an affiliate program? Because I'll sell that for like 500 and just take it.
We'll talk later. So your airport walkthroughs, we do again, and these are a la carte, so if you want to just, add those on, those would be in addition to the 250 deal that you get, for this week. And then you can add on these services as well. Now, in addition to these services, if you go to the last slide there, you guys are going to probably make note of this. So aside from that, I'll give you a 20% off your first order. So with the 250 deal, you want to add drone, twilight, you get 20% off the drone twilight. So it's your first time though, okay? After that, I got to make some money too, so after that, it's, it goes back to our regular pricing, which I think is very, very impressive. And honestly, we're going to be changing our prices next year. So grab, what you can, now, and we'll honor those people that come on board with us, as clients. We'll honor that pricing next year. The last one's going to be my contact information, I believe, yes. Again, call me, text me, I'm very available. We do have an online order form. You can go there and just like order online and everything, but if you want to get the best deal, call me. I mean, I like to service my clients. I like to have relationships, just like you do with your clients. I like to have relationships with my clients. I like to service you. So call me, tell me what you need, what you want to do, square footage, and all this, what you need, and I'll make sure it happens, and I can schedule it for you with one of our photographers that's close to the area.
And you're gonna hang out?
I'm gonna hang out a little bit. Also, I know if you didn't have enough Halloween candy, I brought some little treats, okay? There's $100 hidden in one of them. You have to come introduce yourself to me after the meeting, come introduce yourself, hand me a business card to get one. Okay, now you reach in, you grab the one you want. It could be at the bottom, it could be at the top, I don't know. My kids did it. My kids built it. So, but you have to have a card and introduce yourself in order to get a grab bag and the $100 hidden. Okay? And I'll be sticking around a little bit after the meeting. Yeah. Thanks again, guys.
Let's wrap this up because I have an appointment. Needs and wants. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Up to 2.7 in a Pico area, Pico between La Cienega and Beverly Will, within 2 or 3 blocks of Pico.
Yep.
If anybody, it's a 1031 exchange, they closing escrow, so I really looking for a single family in that area. Also, same area, condo or house up to 1.1 off market or something that you know of, please contact me. I do have the 1031 exchange, they have to close, so that's a really good client, and most sellers would love to be in escrow with the 1031 exchange because they know that that person has to close.
Yeah.
So if you know of any deal up between 2 and 3 million, please let me know.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody else needs and wants before we wrap this up? Thank everybody for
Hi.
coming today. Yes.
Hi.
Joan,
Hi,
how are
Joan.
you?
Hi. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I have a new listing at the Wilshire Marquee, 16th floor. It's 2 bed, 2 bath, 1071 square feet. And it'll be on the market soon, and it's $44.95 a month.
Nice.
Okay,
Congratulations.
so call me if you're interested in more information.
Awesome. 16th floor. Sounds like a good deal to me. Anybody else?
Oh, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
totally remodeled.
Perfect. That's awesome. Glenn,
If anyone is looking for a restaurant, I've got one coming up in Hollywood. All the details by the end of this week.
okay. Designated restaurant, talk to Glenn. Next, going once, going twice. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope it was informational and valuable to you. Everybody have a good time. Yeah.